Hello, my name is Brian Bernard, and today's lesson is the Apostle Paul's letter. In Romans chapter 16, verses 1 and 2, indicates that Paul probably wrote Romans in the Greek city of Cenchreae, which was near Corinth. Paul's mention of Phoebe, a resident of the greater Corinth, establishes that place as a likely background for the letter to the Romans. One of the purposes of establishing the city of origin of the New Testament epistles is to ascertain the date of writing, because Paul traveled a lot. Knowing the location at a particular time gives us a clue to the date. Paul established the church at Corinth on his second missionary journey, AD 49 through 52. And we can see this in Acts chapter 18, verses 1 through 18. And then on his third journey, AD 53 to 58, he visited Greece again. And we can see this in Acts chapter 20, verses 2 and 3. And when he was there, he received an offering for the saints in Jerusalem near the end of his journey. We see this in Romans chapter 15, 25 and 26. Therefore, the epistle to the Romans was probably written in the early months of AD 58. Visiting Galatian churches, Paul discovered that during his absence, false teachers had convinced the members to submit to circumcision and to keep the other precepts of the law of Moses. Fearing that his opponents might reach Rome before he arrived, Paul wrote a letter to the Romans to forestall the same tragedy from happening to Rome. It is believed that the epistle to the Galatians also was written from Corinth during Paul's 3 months there on his third missionary journey, perhaps shortly after his arrival. In his epistles to the Romans, Paul set forth the great principles of the gospel. He stated his position on the questions which were agitating the Jewish and the Gentile churches, and showed that the hopes and promises which had once belonged especially to the Jews were now offered to the Gentiles also. Ellen G. White, The Acts of the Apostles, page 373. As we said, it is important in the study of any book of the Bible to know why it is written. That is, what situation is it addressing? Hence, it is important for our understanding of the epistles to the Romans to know which questions were agitating Jewish and Gentile churches. Next week's lesson will address these questions. What kind of issues are agitating your church at the present time? Are the threats more from without or from within? What roles are you playing in these debates? How often have you stopped to question your role, your position, and your attitudes in whatever struggles you're facing? Thank you for joining us today, and don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notifications so you can join us every day to study the Sabbath School lesson. Thank you.